Hi, my name is Jamie Dolan. I'm from Neenah, Wisconsin. And I just want to tell you a little bit about this program called HDR Camera Plus. I had seen this program and downloaded a trial limited version of it on my old phone, which was a Nexus S, which was just a little bit over a year old. And that phone, I had some problems with it basically, and it just didn't have the memory or the power to do any more advanced photo processing work, and that phone pretty much gave out on me very recently here, and I just got a replacement of the Galaxy S3. And the Galaxy S3, for if you don't know, is one of the very top-end phones that's on the market in terms of memory, processing power, and such right now. So when I found that out, I knew I was going to be able to do some neat things with it. I was out yesterday a couple hours from home, and I was up in Door County, Wisconsin, and a real beautiful area up there. And I had my Canon SLR with me with a couple lenses, and I was shooting a number of photos, tripod and everything. And I had my phone also, and I thought, this would be a great time to try doing HDR with the phone program. So I was able to actually get a signal while I was standing out on the rocks that we'll see in just a second here. And I pulled up the HDR program and in the App Store there, and I was able to buy it, and it downloaded in a minute or two and installed. I took a quick look at the settings, real straightforward, easy to understand, and was able to start shooting pictures right away. So what we have here, I'll walk you through a few of these. Everything I'm going to show you, with the exception of this first screen where I'm holding the phone, that was shot with my SLR, but everything else is taken with the phone shown and with the HDR Plus program here that we're discussing. So looking at the first one, I did change the settings around just with their variables, with the contrast and such, just a little bit, but I didn't spend a lot of time playing with those settings in depth. So these are taken at close to their default. So I did a few different shots here. This I thought was reasonably balanced. It could have been a little bit lighter on the trees there, but then here's another one. We were dealing with a very bright sky with the sun over off to the left side of these trees that we're looking at now in this frame. I thought this was a pretty balanced compilation of the light here, with the trees, the sand that's white, those rocks. That's a real hard thing to meter and to expose properly when you have a setup like that. Lots of neat detail here with the rocks, and those rocks that are stacked up. We lost a little bit in the sky here. We could have picked up a little bit more, had a little more detail pulled in there. We were a little overexposed, but overall, real nice. Here's another different one up close to the shore. You can see all these piles of rocks that someone set up there. Again, pretty nice exposure there, pretty well balanced, making the colors pop out in the trees there that are in their fall colors. And here's a direct look at the trees. Again, real contrasting surfaces, something that's real hard for a typical camera, especially a cell phone camera, to really pick up and do well with. We're shooting into the light, we're shooting into the sun here, which makes it very difficult for any camera sensor to accurately measure. And we have these trees that are being backlit, so they would be dark. And then below us, in front of us, we're dealing with this basically white rock surface. So overall, that's a very, very nice exposure for any camera to be able to pull off. So that's impressive there. Here was a little bit of a closer up one, just a couple feet away. You can see a lot of detail in this image and the couple leaves that are in there. And now we're looking along the shoreline, looking out. Again, my only critique of this particular picture looking at this would be to say that again, we're a little bit overexposed on the sky side of things, and the clouds are kind of blown out, so we don't see the detail there. But otherwise, looking at the rocks and the water, very good clarity, lots of definition there, really nice. Okay, now looking at this picture, this must have been one of the earlier on ones that I shot with the program. We had a lot of shadows in a much darker area there down. That's about from where you see the dog, it's about 20 feet down to the water level there. So that was a lot darker at this point of the day. Then, looking up, we have the trees, we have the sky. We still see some definition to the sky here, so that's really nice that we didn't lose all that, because typically by the time a normal camera without any HDR, by the time you get that stuff down in the lower right, where there's all the shadows and it's darker, by the time you get that exposed well, then you're going to completely blow out everything up higher, your sky, all your lighter tones where it's more lit. So this picture I think could have been more vivid, and if I play with the settings a little bit, I think I could have gotten a lot more out of it. But it's still an example of a good exposure. And next I'm going to jump to later in the evening. I just took a couple really quick shots with the program at a ice cream place that we stopped at. And I was really impressed with the low light performance. I'd not even tried taking a picture at night with this phone yet. I'm not sure why the phone did this whole this level of streaking with the lights. It gives kind of an interesting effect to it, but I'm guessing that's more phone specific would be my feeling on that without knowing for sure what's going on with it. But looking at the colors here from the HDR program and the low light level exposure, it was able to take those 3 frames so quickly and then combine them. We don't have any noticeable blur situation going on. I'm going to go ahead and jump up to another one here. Again, it's pitch black here. I mean, we're way after sunset, and this is all just artificial lighting around their property. So we look even at the front side here where this hose is. That's a very, very dark area. And then where we have some of those lights up by the umbrella, it's much, much brighter area, and it's capturing the tone from everything. The exposure, and we see details. We can even see the water can sitting down low there that's really in the shadows from those plants and that box there. And skipping ahead, then this is a different angle view of the restaurant. And you can see my shadow standing there. There was some lighting behind me, but we also have all that, the lighting inside. And we can actually kind of make out somebody sitting there in that middle window. And so it actually exposed that pretty well. You can see the menu boards inside. So it didn't blow those all out on the exposure. And the outside, we have really a pretty proper exposure overall. We can see good details on everything. It's very vivid. These colors pop out well without being really artificial. I guess in a lot of the HDR work, some of it leans more towards the creative side, where it's very oversaturated and it looks almost more artistic. And I do that sometimes, but other times I'm just looking to capture something that is realistic and that basically looks what the human eye is seeing when you're actually at that place. And I feel like what I captured in most of these images I showed you is very close in many ways to what I was actually looking at. And let me advance here to the last frame I want to show you. And this is their sign out there. It was fairly well lit up. Again, you can notice from the sky there above, it was just pitch black out. And even if I was shooting this with an SLR, I'd have to be shooting this at a very high, ISO and a lower shutter speed. So very impressive capture from the phone, and just the colors on here. I love how bright this is, how this stands out. So this is just processed really nicely from the phone, from the HDR program. I'm really impressed with how it handled this photo. So I have a ton more to play with. There are lots of variables in the program that you can get into in the settings. So I'll definitely be exploring those more in the future. But I think this program is definitely worth a try for you. The only thing I would say about it, like I said, I tried it on my much older phone from last year, that Nexus S model, lots less memory, lots lower processor power, and I don't remember the exact details of what was going on there on that phone, but it did not really seem to function for me there. So I would encourage you to make sure that you do have one of the newer, more powerful phones potentially before you are doing this. And otherwise, if it works on one of the older ones, it may be a lot slower because it is dealing with a lot of data, especially if you're shooting like 8 megapixels like I did on these. It's processing a lot of those. And on my phone, on this Galaxy S3, by the way, it snaps these pictures just about instantaneously. It goes bam, 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 and then it processes them and has the HDR there for you to view within like 1 to 2, maybe 3 seconds in some cases, the very most. I mean, it's like almost instantaneous that it's processed these and that it's showing you the HDR photo on the screen. So it's at least on this phone, it's very, very nice, very easy to use, very fast. I just want to add that with this application, I did pay for this. I didn't receive it for free or anything. I did get it on sale actually through one of the app stores. But otherwise purchased it and don't know anything else about the company. I'm not affiliated with them. There is a link below this video if you're watching this up on YouTube or Facebook, and it does go to my Amazon affiliate link, so I will receive a few cents commission if you do use that link. So if you are interested in this application and you appreciate this review, please consider using that link to purchase. Thanks very much.